Hello, welcome to EdotGdot and Friends. My name is Elden Killian and I'll be your host. And today we are going to be continuing my year in review of 2020 of all my games played. I am attempting to rank every game that I played in 2020. Quick stats. I played 148 different games. Today is the fifth tier of games I'll be doing, so out of 6. So this is like the second to best tier. There are 28 games in this tier. 15 of them are new to me, and 4 of them are 2020 games. So one of the reasons, someone asked me the other day, one of the reasons why I'm ranking all of my games, including just not my new to me games, is I like to see the comparison of like where it stacks up against like my all-time favorites. So as I run into like my favorite games of all time, you know, how do these new games and these new to me games kind of flesh out? And that's sort of why I do it the way I do it. Again, yeah, so these are the games I played in 2020. Today's video is called, Hey, this feels nice. I remember way back a year ago, this is in January 2021 right now where I'm recording this, and when we didn't have to wear masks everywhere that we went, and we can just kind of live freely. I forget how that felt nice like that. You know, going out in public without a mask on. Anyway, but wear your mask, guys. We're in a pandemic. It is continuing on. Wear your mask. Do your part. And hopefully we'll get out of it soon. Anyway, let's go on and get going with this. So my number 60 of the year is Silver and Gold. I must have played this just at the tail end of 2019. But yeah, this is a really slick rolling, flip and write game, actually. You're flipping cards and you are trying to put the shapes on your cards. And the really neat thing about this game, this was the first game I saw where you could actually write on the card with a dry erase marker. And so you're doing these, and you're trying to fulfill like the shapes on the cards, so you can get some points or some ways to get bonuses and some extra points. Yeah, this is a really good game. I need to play it some more. But yeah, really good game. Silver and Gold, number 60. Number 59, Villagers. This was a new to me game. I was only able to play this once. I had an opportunity to purchase it, and I kind of messed up. I should have bought it. And then it was unavailable through my normal means. I'm sure there's a copy out there somewhere I can find. But I had an affordable copy I could find, and I passed on it. Anyway. But yeah, this one looks like it's getting a little bit of love on BGG. When I looked this up, this was ranked number 623. That was like a month ago or so when I put this together. It's probably fluctuated a bit, but yeah, just a really slick. It's like card drafting and then using your cards. It's been almost a year since I played it, so I'm not trying to remember exactly what happened. But I just remember I remember having a lot of fun with it and wanted to get my own copy, which I dropped the ball on. But anyway, number 59, Villagers. Good game. Number 58, Carpe Diem. This is Stefan Feld. This is I like a lot of Stefan Feld games. I think I have 3 Stefan Feld games in my top 10 of all time, or really close to that. And they're the heavier ones. They're the Castles of Burgundy, the Trajan, kind of heavier games. This one is not as heavy, but I really like the thinkiness of it. So you get to move your piece, and I have the version where you're still going like in the star pattern. So you have to move from where you're at, and you kind of have 2 choices of where you go. And then you pick a tile from there and you put it on your board. Real simple game. I played this with my like 10, 11-year-old stepson, and he was able to pick it up real easy. And this is a really good family weight tile laying game with some interesting decisions. Some of the graphic design choices, not my favorite. Cover, real ugly. But I know there's some newer editions out there where they've tried to fix some of those graphic design issues. But yeah, just a really solid game from Stefan Feld, number 58, Carpe Diem. Number 57, Medium. This was a new to me game. I got this for Christmas from a family member, and this is a light game. All you're really doing is you are playing a card. Your person sitting next to you plays a card, and then you try to they both have words on them, and then you try to get a word that meets in the middle. So you're trying to say the same word at the exact same time. And yeah, no, it's a blast. I've really only played it once, like in one big session, but we played it multiple times in that session. I guess we could play the game multiple times. We played a bunch of times in a row. I definitely bring this out again at a family outing. Yeah, just real. This was a fun light game. Anyway, number 57, Medium. Number 56, Super Skill Pinball 4K. This is Jeff Engelstein, who I don't love a lot of his designs. Really, when I stacked them up, in fact, this is probably the one I like the most, and of all of his designs. But this one's really, really good. This is a roll and kind of move. It's simulating a pinball game, a really slow pinball game. So you roll the dice, and then you have to move the pinball in different places. Is it dice? I'm trying to remember exactly how it works. Pretty sure it's dice. But you're moving down, and you're trying to be able to push it back up, keep it in the higher section, so you can score a bunch of points, get some different abilities. I've only played the one time. Really enjoyed it. I definitely want to play it again. I'm on the lookout to pick up my own copy. Really good game. Super Skill Pinball 4K. I just heard that there's another set coming out of 4 more tables, and so maybe that'll bring out some more wider distribution, and you'll be able to pick up a copy. Anyway, real good game. Super Skill Pinball 4K. Number 56. Number 55, Space. I really like this game. The one thing I like about this game is it kind of takes that like Catan thing where like you're rolling the dice on your turn, you're getting resources, other people get resources too, according to the die roll, and then you're trying to accumulate enough money to buy cool cards so you can do so you can score points so you can win the game. I don't know, just the puzzle is really interesting. There's a little bit of luck, of course, with the die rolls and whatnot, but I like there's like multiple ways to go about victory. There's like a card that you can get, and if you can satisfy the conditions of that card, which is not that easy, you win the game automatically. Otherwise, you play to points. But I had a really interesting game of this where my buddy Tim, he had that card, and right away he got a couple of charges on that, and he looked like he was going to win with that card, but then the dice just didn't go his way, and he wasn't able to manufacture another charge, and somebody else eventually won by points. But it was this weird tension where we're just hoping he doesn't get what he needs while we were working on our thing. I'm not sure if I've ever won this game, but I think that's a testament how good it is that I don't do very well at it, and I enjoy it. I mean, number 55. But these are all really good games, really, when it comes down to it. 54, Jamaica. This was new to me. I picked this up from a buddy of mine. I'd heard about it, and but I invited some people over pre-pandemic, and we ended up having more people than I was anticipating. This game will play 6 players in not a ton of time, and so I kind of quickly read the rules and played the game, and we had a heck of a time. We ended up playing it twice that night, and I've played it a few times since, and yeah, it's a really good racing, light, family-style game. Has some interesting decisions. You get to feel clever occasionally. Good game. Good game. Number 54, Jamaica. 53, Colorado. I've had this game for a long time. It had been a couple years since I played it, I think, but I brought it out with some family members. And it went over well, and I ended up playing a number of times this last year, and it still holds up. Really simple card game where on your turn you have 2 basic choices: either take a pile of cards that's been building up, or draw a card and stick it on one of the piles. and then you're trying to get sets without getting too many different colors. So you want to collect a finite number of sets and not get more than that. And real simple game, but the thought process, it's just fun. It plays quickly. Real good game. Number 53, Colorado. 52, Jaws. This was another new to me game that I got to play before the pandemic shut down. So in this game, I only played it once. I was the shark. And it has a cool, like, 2 phases to the game. The first half, the shark is trying to eat as many people as he can, while other people are trying to hunt him down. And the second half is they've kind of cornered the shark, and the shark's eating the boat, just like the movie. Plays, it's a really good adaptation of a movie into a game, and they did a really slick job of it. Is it the heaviest game ever? No. Is it like the slickest game ever? Probably not. But it was a lot of fun, and there was some really good tension. There's some luck in there, which is kind of good, because in the first half of the game, I as the shark, by maybe it was a little bit of luck or whatever, but I was clever, and they never really found me, and I chomped all of the beachgoers as I could, and I had the maximum ability going into that last round. And even though I had that giant advantage, there were some die rolls didn't go my way. I ended up losing, but that tension was real, and it was fun. Anyway, number 52, Jaws. 51, Similo. I saw Tom Bassel from the Dice Tower doing an unboxing or something, and he like pulled his and he like made his camera guy whatever play with him right there as he was unboxing it. I was like, that's a pretty slick game. I might be able to find a situation to play that. I ended up buying all 3 of the available sets, which is like mythology, fables, and history. I played with all of them. They all work equally well. Some people, a lot of my family members prefer the fables and the mythology over the history. I prefer the history probably, but it's the exact same game, and it works exactly the same. It's quick, it's fast. It seems really simple, but it can be tricky. I don't know. If you're looking for like a Guess Who type game that's better than Guess Who, Similo, pretty good option. Number 51. Number 50, Pandemic Hot Zone North America. I cheated on. I was a little disappointed in this game. I got it as a gift, and I hadn't really researched it at all. But it's basically it's like a small version of Pandemic, almost exactly. Just smaller board, less options. But Pandemic's a good game, and it works just like Pandemic. It's just smaller. I have found it very difficult. I have not beat it yet. I've played a few times, and not even close. Just to the point where I worried maybe I'm playing something wrong. But I don't know. If you like Pandemic, you're probably gonna like this. It doesn't bring anything real new to Pandemic. It just makes a smaller board. I think it's probably I don't know. Pandemic's really good with 2 players, so I guess I'm not sure what the advantage of this version is. You're working with it's a little bit easier to cure the diseases. I think it takes 1 less card. I don't know. But again, I don't know. It's good. I keep saying I don't know. Pandemic Hot Zone North America, number 50. 49, Waters of Nereus. I picked this up when I got the School of Sorcery on a Kickstarter. I was able to pick up the last copy of Waters of Nereus that was available in that Kickstarter, because I'd heard that it was a decent game, and it is. Real decent game. You're moving your ships around trying to collect these gems. You're using these gems to pay your crew and to, trying to store it and score some points. It's got a simultaneous action selection, which I always enjoy. The way you do things. It's just a really solid game. Biblios is my favorite Dr. Finn game, which this is. But this tight second of all the ones I've played. Waters of Nereus, number 49. Number 48, Forbidden Island. This is Matt Leacock, Pandemic guy. I hadn't played this for a while, but I brought it out after I played a Pandemic Hot Zone, North America Hot Zone. and it just reminded me, is like it, you know, it's obviously a different game, but it has that co-op structure, and yeah, I don't know, we lost this, but yeah, it's a good game. You can play with your family. Real good game. Highly recommend. 47, Paladins of the West Kingdom. I'm a little sad. I never got this played with somebody else. I played it solo, with the solo rules a few times. And I really liked some ideas of it. But one, the pandemic happened and didn't really get a chance to bring anybody over for a while. And then it kind of fell out of my rotation of things I was trying to play. But also, I was afraid to try to teach it to someone. Is what it really came down to. I just felt like the mental load, like the front load that you needed to have to play the game, was pretty high. Unlike Raiders of the North Sea and Architects of the West Kingdom, I think I wouldn't hesitate to teach those to most people that at least had some level of gamer cred, you know. And Architects, I would teach that to someone who was interested in games and maybe hadn't played a lot of games. This one I wouldn't. This one's heavier. It was fun. It took me a couple plays of solo to like really get understanding how the game was working. Interesting puzzle. Good game. Number 47, Paladins of the West Kingdom. 46, QE. I picked this up on the Kickstarter with on tour, and yeah. I'd heard about this game the second I heard about it. I really like auctions, and the way that this auction works just really intrigues me. Whoever spends the most money throughout the game loses automatically, and then there's a point getting system for whoever didn't spend the most money. And I always like that auction, like high society does that, where if you spend the most money you lose, and I really like that twist in the game. And yeah, QE works. The other little twist of this game is that you can bet you can bid any number up to as high as you want. It was interesting. I played this game a couple times with new players, like back to back, twice in the same session. And it's funny how the meta changes from the beginning of that first game through the end of the second game. And anyway, real interesting game. The thought experiment of this game is fascinating. But it also stands on its own. Really good game. QE. Niagara. I picked this up real cheap, like at my uncle's games in Spokane, and I brought it out. This is a great family weight game. This won the Spiel des Jahres back in the day. And I said this is Niagara. It's actually, I got the Iguazu, which is the newer version. And it has this cool board that you kind of push it along and the pieces fall off, and it kind of mimics the waterfall. And yeah, real simple game, not hard. A handful of rules. You kind of need someone to just make, it's not hard. Just a handful of rules. The way you get the bonuses, the way you score points, pretty straightforward. Takes maybe just a second to get your mind locked into it. I really like it. Niagara, number 45. Iguazu, the version I played. My City, number 44. This is a 2020. This was a Spiel des Jahres nominee, or Kenner Spiel nominee maybe. And I finally got this. I was hoping to be done with it by now, but my son, who I was playing with, we've had to push it back a couple times. And we're about halfway through. And this is a legacy, but real basic tile layer. And then the rules kind of just modify a little bit as you move along. Some different things become available, and you kind of unlock portions of the board. I haven't finished it, so I don't know what's going to happen. But yeah, I've been really enjoying it so far. I'm a little worried about, like, when I finish this. You can just play the game as is, or it has a second side of the board where you can just keep playing. I don't know if I'll be interested enough to keep doing that, but I'm having a real good time with the legacy portion of it. 43, Love Letter. One of my daughters, one of their top games I like to play, so we always get it played a few times a year. And the social deduction aspect of this game is interesting. A lot of it, even though a lot of times you're just kind of guessing, there is sort of like this you got to pay attention to what's going on, so you can make better guesses. And the moments when you just get those guesses right, just feel good. They're good. Anyway, number 43, a love letter. 42, Imperial. I don't know how to say this word. Spells and Steam. I got to play the cool Kickstarter copy of a friend of mine. Beautiful, gorgeous gameplay. Real interesting. I definitely want to play this some more. I've only played it the one time, but I would definitely want to play this some more. The abilities, the way that you are upgrading kind of your abilities and as you go along is real interesting. And this crazy pick up deliver game. It's a fantasy railroad game. Real good game. Number 42, Imperial Spells and Steam, or Imperial. Again, don't know how to say it. 41, Raw. Raw, just all-time great game from Reiner Knizia, one of his big auction games. Like I said, I really do enjoy auctions. This one used to be like a really top game for me, like top 10 all time. Just over the years, I've played a lot of really good games and just keeps getting bumped back a little bit, but totally stands up. Always glad when I get to play it. Yeah, Raw, number 40, whatever this is, 7 or 1. Number 41. Number 40, Pandemic. I do like Pandemic better than the new, smaller version. And Pandemic is really growing on me. I've only played one of the Legacy seasons, season 1. But that Legacy season really made the game better for me. And I appreciate regular Pandemic a lot more based on having that. Again, this super popular game. It's actually ranked number 98 at BGG, and that I remember when it used to be a lot higher than that. It's been knocked down a couple pegs by its own reiterations, but yeah, plain old vanilla Pandemic, still hanging in there. Number 39, Little Town. This is another one of those Spiel des Jahres nominated games I was able to pick up, and I really like this one. It's not super complicated. I don't know if this will ever hit the stage where I play this game 20 plus times or whatever, but I really enjoy it. So in this one, you're gathering resources. You get to put your worker anywhere on this board, and you gather the resources that are next to it. The board is pretty sparse at the beginning, but as people start putting other buildings out with their resources, they build buildings, and they put them on that board, and all of a sudden you have more spaces that you can be adjacent to and activate and do your thing with. But it's short. It's only 4 rounds, so you have to be real smart with your workers. And I played this 2-player and 4. Did I play it 4-player? I know I've played it with 2-player and more than 2-player, and it definitely played different. You have fewer workers, so you have fewer actions in the game, and so you just have to think a little differently about how you're going to do things. But yeah, number 39, Little Town, real good game. Number 38, Tiny Towns. I've had this game, it wasn't new to me. I've played it before, but I played it a fair number of times this year. It works great in a number of situations. Again, not a super hard game to learn, but the puzzle is thinky and real fascinating. In this game, you are it's like a bingo game, but when it's your turn, you get to pick what cube is going to come out, and so it totally pays to be in sync with other people, so that you're calling for the right building materials. But as you put out the building materials, you have to have space to put them out. And then once you create the pattern that you're looking for, you get to replace one of those spaces in the pattern with the building that you just created. And so that has a couple interesting things where these building materials are taking up spaces until you can finish a building. And when you finish the building, one of those spaces gets occupied, and so you can't use that space to put more things out. And every building does something slightly different every game. And yeah, I don't know, I really like this game. Number 38, Tiny Towns. 37, Notre Dame, another Stefan Feld game. I hadn't played this one in a few years and was really wanting to play it. I know at least one of the players I played with when I played this one time did not have a good time with it, and it maybe made it less fun for me. But I really like this game. I really like the way the card drafting works. I really like how you get to move around the little board and how you're like making your actions better and better, and sometimes you have to shift how good some actions are because you don't have enough little cubes to put out or whatever. Anyway, really good game. Even though it's ranked number 285 on BGG, I feel like it's a little underrated these days. Real good game. Remember, what was it? It's 37. Notre Dame. Number 36, the game. Are you ready to play the game? This cooperative card playing game is one that I bring out all the time. It works in so many good situations. I feel like most people, after they play it once, want to play it again immediately. I don't know. It just consistently works for me. It consistently does a good job. I have a good time playing it. I have not mastered it. I don't feel like I've explored every nook and cranny in this game. But yeah. Number 36, the game. Are you ready to play? 35, that's pretty clever. I don't get to play this one like the actual board version very often, but I must have played it at least once because it's on this list and I don't count digital plays, but this is a game I played digitally a lot. I haven't played That's Pretty Clever, Ganshon Clever, that often this year. This year they launched the third game in the series, Hakdre Clever, and they're all just a little bit different. They're all great. I highly recommend the app. It makes, you can only play solo player, but it's just a really good, quick experience. But this is a great game. Wolfgang Warsch, doing his thing, doing it great. Number 35, that's pretty clever. Number 34, Barrage. I got a screaming deal on this. I just found it at the game store. I don't know if it was like a damaged copy. I don't know where the damage is, but it was on a really good deal, and I kind of impulse bought it. But this is, I don't know, really, really good game. You are people who are creating water. You're building dams, building power plants, trying to get water through your power plants to score points. And this game it's really real mean. I don't know. It'll be surprising to see where this lands in a few years for me. It's a little meaner of a game than I usually like playing, but it's real clever and real interesting. Trying to outthink your opponents, get your dams and your power plants in the right position to score the most points. Trying to steal water from other people. Trying to get those. It has that really cool thing where your board, as you do things, like things get unlocked for you, and you have some better abilities. And playing with that, it just all works together. It is a thinky game. It's a heavy game, and not one I want to play all the time. But I really did enjoy my couple of plays of this. Number 34, Barrage. Number 33, Just One. All-time great party game. Hands down. Works in great situations. You can play with up to 7. I've done it with 8 players where you just, whoever the player is doesn't get the little placard thing. It works just fine. So in this game, you're working together, which is not something you always do in party games like this. But in this game, you pull up a card, you just randomly say a number between 1 and 5, and there's a word associated with that number. Then everyone else is trying to write down a one-word clue to get you to guess the word. But then before you get to see their clues, everybody else at the table compares their placards with each other, and if anybody said the same thing, you don't get to see that clue. So you might be missing out on a really obvious clue that's going to make it real easy to get the word. So it forces the people to think a little bit outside the box. Sometimes I think too far outside the box. Guilty. And just a really good game. Highly recommend. You can pick it up it's cheap at Target. Go grab it. Great game. Just one. And number 32, which will be the last one in this set, is Clank Legacy Acquisitions Incorporated. I started this due to pandemic. We have not finished. Most of the year we've been on pause. We are going to get back to it. So I've been promised. I look forward to it. And this, just like Pandemic, I played Pandemic a couple times. Didn't love it. I played the Legacy version. I appreciate the game way more. Clank, I played the original game once a few years ago. I didn't feel like I need to try it again. My buddy got this Legacy version. I said, same buddy I played Pandemic Legacy with. And, you know, I don't know how hard he talked me into it. I was like, yeah, I'll give it a go. And yeah, I don't know, the changes, the Legacy stuff, I appreciate the humor in the game now. And I don't know if, you know, without going back to the original game, I'm not sure if that humor's there. But the humor and the acquisitions incorporated, I really get a kick out of it. Playing with a good group of people, really fun game. If you're looking for a Legacy experience, you like deck building, you like Dungeons and Dragons type stuff, this is for you. Doing well. BGG's loving it. 8.8 average rating. That's high. Number 74 ranking. Real good game. And one I recommend. So I'll have one more video going forward. That's the end of this one. And yeah, look forward to it. Like, subscribe, do all those things. Need a little encouragement to keep making videos. Anyway, I'll see you when I see you, I guess. I don't know. I need to come up with a tagline.
Where? I'm making a YouTube video, Bevs.